What's going on, my plant people? I'm the ADHD gardener and welcome to my chicken vlog. I wanted to know what my grandma and my dad used to do back in Puerto Rico when it came to dispatching chickens. Things are done a lot differently in Puerto Rico than they are done here. Not to mention back in the day, back when she was younger. So what I did is I invited my dad and my grandma to come by and show us how they used to do it back in the day, dispatching process. Now, whether I agree with it or not, it was a different story. However, it was a learning process, and I learned a lot just from watching it at least one time. So throughout this vlog, it's technically going to be from me and Jose learning ourselves our first time. However, I'm going to be switching to a few clips from my dad and my grandma showing you how it's done back in the day in Puerto Rico. Let's start.
The homestead.
The homestead. We're homesteading in the making. That's what it is. We're on our journey to homesteading and self-sustainability. This is the stuff that you don't see on YouTube, like what happens to all the mistakes, what happens in all the oops, you didn't know that this was going to happen. We're troubleshooting. So where's the wind? So where's the ventilation?
Entonces ahí se ponían 3 piedras aquí y 3 piedras aquí. Y ahí se ponía la leña y todo porque eso era, el fogón era de tierra.
She's going way back.
Oh, she's going way, way back.
Where you actually had like a fire pit in your kitchen.
Inside the house.
Inside the house.
That's right.
So that's further back from what I'm thinking.
What? Wow.
Y esa bolsa, ¿qué te la vas a usar para meter las hojas?
Para poner el pollo aquí.
Ajá, y
y pelarlo ahí mismo.
¿Sí?
¿Cómo va a ser? ¿Dónde va a quedar el pollo por todo el piso?
Plumas por todos lados, por todos lados.
Camping stove.
Yes.
Camping stove with the propane tank, but if you don't have that, it's all good because we were actually going to build a fire, which is why we have the wood here too.
Out of gas, you might need to build a fire.
If we ran out of propane gas, then we're totally going to need the fire. But we have it there just in case. And now we have this huge turkey fryer pot, and we got our table, and we're going to do this. Oh my gosh! I didn't know. They kick like crazy.
Alright, stick them in that cone.
Oh man, okay. Oh.
Will he fit in there? That cone is too.
Dude, that goes.
Does the head come out? No.
Oh, okay.
¿Cuánto libra es?
5.
5? She can tell just by holding on to it.
5.
So we screwed up on that one. We
It's
need a bucket. See?
We learned.
A bucket.
¿Verdad? Aprendiendo.
It's too dramatic for me.
Yo nunca los mataba así.
¿Por qué?
No?
Yo los mataba a torcer el cuello.
Oh, that was worse.
Eso es lo que yo estaba pensando. Tú lo coges y le haces.
Sí, pero eso es peor.
Sí, pero para yo moverle y partirle el cuello no es tan fácil
It's
ahora.
hard for her to twist that neck. She used to do it this way. Grab the chicken by the head, Jackie, twist
The neck.
like that, just twist it. But I prefer my other aunt in Puerto Rico. She does it this way. She sits on a chair, she puts the chicken under her arm,
Yeah.
and just stretches out the neck as far as it can go, and snaps it and just holds it there for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brutal also.
Damn, that's rough.
This, if perfected, it's much better.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, that's wow. That's total old school in the country. Okay, we're gonna need a bucket for the second chicken. That's okay. We got 4 more to go. 4 more. We're learning.
I'm glad I didn't miss
Eso es mucha
this.
sangre.
Major screw.
Doesn't it make you? Uh-huh.
No, nadita.
Ah, ¿cuánto?
Nada más.
Nada más.
Nada
Ya,
más.
rápido.
Porque se cocina. Los guantes.
Los guantes. A ver, ¿dónde están los guantes?
You know what I'm saying? But why is she doing it so fast? I mean,
Porque
do we?
see, you have to do it fast because the skin will dry up. It'll
Está pelado casi.
it'll get tough to pull up.
Oh, wow.
Yo tengo unas largas.
I'm a city boy and it's just natural for me.
Well,
Of course
now
you are,
the shit.
because you're married into the Bush family.
Now you know the
You got Bush Puerto Rican Bush tendencies.
Aquí you find a cutting board. Yes.
No
Yes.
tiene que ponerlo en el piso. Ya.
No,
Don't worry about it, man. Venga, you gotta make sure you pull it out without busting it
Yeah, I know.
because
Ese es el
poop will
buchi.
get all over the place.
Ese es el
Ew.
buchi.
Yeah.
It's like the it's
¿Ves?
the
Mira,
place.
Mira, Jacqueline, mira.
Look. Oh, that's gross.
Yeah, I know exactly what not to do next time, all right? I would do things so differently.
Yeah.
What we're learning from her.
Yes, yo. Yeah, no, this is good though, because we're learning what not to do and what to
The
do.
most critical part was the amount of seconds in the boiling water.
Yes.
The chicken doesn't start to cook, or that you don't have to dip it twice because you didn't leave it in there long enough.
Right.
Yeah, go down.
All right, now I know that I need a hose.
Forget that water, it's gonna be sacrificial.
Yeah. No, that's
You
fine.
can't keep it thoroughly clean. You can't keep it. Okay. Now we know you need water. We're trialing it.
Yeah. I feel bad. What do I say? Do I say that it's time to dispatch? Do I say that it's time to kill them? Do I say that it's time to cull them? I don't even know how you would call it, but it is time for these Cornish crosses to go, if you know what I mean. This is my first time doing this, so I'm just gonna show you the setup that me and my boyfriend have right here. It's not all that, it's not that fancy, but guess what? It's gonna work for us. This is what I have. I have a bucket just of ice. It's so hot in PA that I figured that it's gonna melt on its own because it's like freaking hot. It's like 80 something degrees. But I have that. I also have a cutting board. This is just gonna be for chicken. I got a bunch of bowls because I learned that you're gonna need some bowls. I'm just saying. I also have some plastic bags, Ziploc bags inside of it because you never really know. I also have these 2 containers that I'm going to be keeping the gizzards and the chicken feet, and also for somewhere so I can put the yucky stuff like the guts. I have some hand napkins. I've got some really good gloves. I got this from, babe, where did you get these gloves from?
Harbor Freight.
Oh, these gloves are from Harbor Freight. I also have this dish mat so it can like soak up all the extra juices because I didn't want it flowing everywhere making a mess. I also got 2 knives. I also have a bucket. I have a bucket right here because once the chicken comes out of here, then I'm going to need this bucket to hold onto the chicken. But my love came up with a genius idea of having a barrel right here of just regular water so we can dip the chickens in to get off all those extra feathers. Man, that's freaking smart, yo. Oh, this is like a stove that you would use for camping. Man, my dad has had this for years, and I hijacked it. Got it with a propane tank, and now we're boiling some water. Explain how you came up with that wire idea.
Actually, your dad told me this.
Really? What did Dad say?
So they don't, like, sometimes they get all crazy, so instead of them fighting all over, they don't. Hold it
Wow,
there.
that's smart. When my grandma did it, it was a little rough. And mind you, that is just one way of dispatching a chicken. However, I just didn't want to do it that way. It was just a little rough. It's a piece of crap then.
No.
I wasn't pulling, I was getting a good...
Yeah, no, you pulled.
Alright, well, I guess so. Shit, you come back, just don't get all pissed off or nothing. It was nighttime and it was just bad timing altogether. This is something that I should have definitely done in the early morning. But guess what? I was learning and I had to learn the hard way. So as I was, after I started plucking the feathers, after it was all said and done, I have all of those containers there, as you can see to the left. One of them was for gizzards and the internal organs. The other one was for the chicken feet and the necks. And the other container or bucket or whatever that was for garbage. Wow, that was an experience. Talk about learning curve. There was a huge learning curve. You see people on YouTube dispatching chickens and doing the whole process, and it looks really easy, right? And I guess it does get easier because as I kept processing my chickens, it got easier and faster as I went. But boy, that first 2 or something like that, it was a learning curve. Let me tell you a few things I learned. Definitely really get a good quality cone or make a good sturdy killing cone or whatever you want to call that, because wow, ours broke Also, I had to figure out what to do with all these flies. I mean, the flies were attracted to the blood and then all the chickeny parts, and I have a thing with germs, but all these things can be fixed and remedied as you get better and as you learn more. So I guess, you know what, again, it is a learning process. I'm just telling you and showing you how it was for a first-time chicken person. Also, I noticed that I had extra containers everywhere. In that we didn't have like an outdoor kitchen set up right now, we just don't have it. We need to build it. We had a hose also, so we had water available, but again, I didn't want to just spread out a bunch of like chicken germs everywhere. I just didn't want to do it. That bin right there, that black bin, I had 2 bins like that. Now I filled one of them with water and one of them with ice, because I could dip the chicken in and get off all the extra feathers and all the gunk that's on your gloves or on your hands at the time. That was easier for me. You didn't have to have one of those bins with water if you have the hose, but again, I just didn't want to have spraying around a bunch of bacteria and germs. I just didn't want to do that. I had bins everywhere. I had at least like 5-6 containers. I wanted to reduce the amount of liquids that were on the table. I just wanted it to be as clean as possible. So after I dunked it in the water, then I put it in this bin to defeather. I just didn't want to leave a bunch of feathers all over the table. I just didn't want to make a mess. I had a bunch of plastic bags handy. I had extra containers handy. I had gloves. I had soap. I had rags. I didn't realize I needed it until I saw my grandma. I learned a lot from just watching her the first time. I took the extra steps to make this a cleaner process. Yeah, it was a lot longer, but then again, I had help, of course. Thank you, Jose. Also, it was a lot of standing, and I had to sit on a bench. I had to sit. My back was killing me that night. I didn't expect to have so much back pain. It was insane. I had back pain earlier in the day. I thought it would go away or like ease up or something, but out of nowhere in the afternoon, that back pain killed me. It was really, really bad. So I know that Jose did a good portion of it, and thank God he helps me, because I would have had to do the whole thing from a seated position or just another day when I felt better. But luckily, I got myself stoned off my ass so I can tolerate the pain in order to do some steps. But I did have to have that bench, and I did have to have my wonderful boyfriend do most of the work, basically. It was rough, but you know what? We also learned, don't do this at night. Dude, don't do this at night. Let me tell you, and I'm sure they probably said that before, but maybe I wasn't paying attention. Of course I wasn't paying attention, but don't do this at night. The bugs, bro, the bugs. Bugs everywhere. Mosquitoes, flies, gnats, all these things that you would find out in the middle of the woods, these bugs at night. What else? What else? Cone, cleanup, containers. Oh, wow. That's a good idea. Cone, cleanup, work on your cleanup. Containers. You can never have enough containers. You can never have enough garbage bags. I'm not gonna front, I was a little nervous. Not necessarily about killing something, but I just felt, I don't know, maybe it was, but I felt bad. That was a time that I just gave thanks to God that, you know what, I had this opportunity. I had the blessing to be able to do this. I had like a large bowl or something, and I filled it with water and vinegar, and I just dunked that chicken in there, cleaned it out, or just really did the extra bits, the extra finalizing of cleaning. Then I put it in the ice water, and that's when it stayed all night. It was a long process, and it was just for 3 chickens. But you know what? I was learning curve, man. I haven't been doing this for long. This is my first time, but at least you get to see what happens on your first time, and a lot of things can possibly go wrong. You never really know until you try it. As usual, much love. Don't forget to subscribe, share, do all that fancy stuff. Find me on Facebook and Instagram, and until the next episode, peace and love.